Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are welcome to another chemistry e-learning class. We are going to discuss today preparation of soluble salt. In our previous class, we defined soluble salt as a salt that are readily dissolved in water to produce aqueous solution. Soluble salts can be prepared by various methods. Number one, action of dilute acid on metal. That's number one method. When reactive metal such as potassium, sodium, zinc, and iron, when react with an acid, they displaces hydrogen ion from acid to produce salts. So when reactive metals such as potassium, sodium, zinc, iron, calcium, magnesium, when react with any acid like HCl, like H2SO4, like ethanoic acid, and so on, they displaces hydrogen and they produce soluble salt. That is first method of preparing soluble salt. The second method of preparing soluble salt is neutralization method. That is a reaction between acid and alkali. A salt may be prepared by titrating an alkali against an appropriate acid. So when an alkali reacts with an appropriate equal volume of an acid, and indicator can be used to test or to determine the endpoint. So when as soon as that reaction is complete, the color will tell us that the reaction is complete. That color is bring about by the use of indicator. So a salt that form in that regard is also soluble salt. For example, when potassium hydroxide react with triazonitrate 5 acid, it produce potassium triazonitrate 5 and water. I told you that neutralization reaction is a reaction between acid and bases to produce salt and water. So a salt that form in that regard is an example of soluble salt. I told you potassium triazonitrate 5 is a soluble salt because all the salt of potassium are soluble, and all the salt of triazonitrate 5 salts are also soluble in water. The third method of preparing soluble salt is the action of dilute acid on insoluble bases. A salt may be prepared when dilute acid is heated with bases, insoluble bases such as copper oxide, copper 2 oxide, lead 2 oxide. When react with an acid like HCl, H2SO4, a soluble salt is formed. So when copper 2 oxide reacts with H2SO4, copper 2 tetrasulfate 6 is formed, that is salt and water. This reaction is also a partial neutralization reaction because it involves acid and insoluble base like copper 2 oxide. The fourth example of method of preparing soluble salt is the action of dilute acid on triacylcarbonate 4. An acid will react with triacylcarbonate 4 to produce a salt, water and carbon 4 oxide. When acid reacts with any sort of triacylcarbonate 4 like copper 2 triacylcarbonate 4, calcium triacylcarbonate 4, sodium triacylcarbonate 4, a soluble salt will be produced as soon as when reaction is complete. Also, CO2 will be evolved, water will also be produced in that reaction. So what are the methods of recovering soluble salt from a solution? When you have a mixture of soluble salts with water, you want to recover that salt from its aqueous solution. When, like for example, when soluble salts like sodium chloride mix with water, it will produce aqueous solution, a solution with one layer, a uniform solution. How do we normally recover the salt? How do we normally separate salt from water? Number one of the method is evaporation method or heating to dryness. Number two, crystallization method. we have already discussed this one under method of separating mixture. So I will refer you to go and read more on this one under method of separating mixture. So also method of preparing insoluble salts. We are going to look at method of preparing insoluble salts. Like we have discussed earlier, that insoluble salts are those salts that are insoluble in water, that is, that do not dissolve in water. We have two methods of preparing these insoluble salts. Number one of the method, which is very, very important, is double decomposition. A double decomposition method or double decomposition reaction is a reaction between two soluble salts to produce one soluble salt and one insoluble salt. Like for example now, when silver triisonitrate 5 reacts with sodium chloride, it produces silver chloride and sodium triisonitrate 5. Sodium triisonitrate 5, AgNO3, the solubility of this AgNO3 is a soluble salt, but the solubility of this AgNO3 is due to the presence of triisonitrate 5 ion that are present in it. It means this AgNO3 has acidic chloride negative ion that are soluble. It means the presence of the solubility of this AgNO3 is due to the presence of NO3 ion that is negative ion, while NaCl is also another example of soluble salt, and the solubility of this NaCl is due to the presence of sodium ion in it. It means for any reaction, for any two salts to undergo double decomposition, the solubility of the one must come from the negative ion, while the solubility of the other salt must come from the positive ion. So when AgNO3 reacts with sodium chloride, AgCl is formed. AgCl, silver chloride, is an example of insoluble salts, while sodium NaNO3 is an example of soluble salt. So double decomposition is one of the important methods of preparing insoluble salt. The second method of preparing insoluble salt is the combination of the constituent elements. Some salts may be prepared by direct combination of the elements which make up the salt. For example, in the preparation of iron 3 chloride, there is going to be a direct reaction between iron, a metal, and chlorine gas to produce iron 3 chloride. So the two methods we have discussed here is a typical method of preparing an insoluble salt, while the fourth method we discussed earlier is a typical method we normally use to produce soluble salts. So here we're going to stop here for today. In our next class, we're going to look at salt hydrolysis. What happens when some salts dissolve in water? Are they going to give a neutral solution, or alkaline solution, or acidic solution when they dissolve in water? That's what we call salt hydrolysis, the breaking down of salts when they dissolve in water. So here I will tell you to check your portal for your weekly assignment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.